Jungkook, now step inside. Nail, do you think it's going to work? You can't barge in like this. I'm going to call the cops. He barked angrily, holding his wrist. Jungkook simply hated when he was required to repeat his sentences. Wine knew him. Wine knew their voice. Wine, we'll go inside. She held Nail's arm and dragged him inside. Burn. He wanted to burn the world the moment Wine held Nail. This is what he felt every night she returned home to that person. Jungkook followed them inside. He could see Wine telling Nail who Jungkook was, and he better not mess with the Mafia lord. Wine, please come in. Did you need something in that hour? Wine left Nail in a room and escorted Jungkook to the lounge. Jungkook, I have only one question. What the reason behind you keeping up with his abuse? Vine didn't reply. Jungkook didn't get angry at her. Somehow, he felt like he could repeat every single thing for her for as long as she wanted, and he would never hate it. Jungkook, your answer might be the only sympathy he gets from me. Vine, you don't have to do anything. I'm fine. Jungkook stepped closer to her. Vine panicked. What if Neil saw them this close? Jungkook didn't care. He softly brushed her hair off her cheek and caressed it. The red prints of abuse were still there. Jungkook, I want to know the reason. As she looked up at him, she found hope. Hope she was not going to get from anywhere else. Vine, it's all my fault. I'm just paying for my sins. That's why. I appreciate that you want to help, but let me be. Jungkook, I'm not helping you. I'm doing it for me. Vine took a seat and exhaled out. Vine, I was the one who fell for Nail. I was young, an idiot in love. Mom dad saw something wrong about him which I couldn't at that age. Vine, they tried to stop me, but I didn't listen to them. He was too sweet, too kind, too caring. He wouldn't sleep the whole night if I got sick. How could I leave that person? How could I believe anyone who went up against him, even if they were my own parents? Vine, at the end, they gave up because I was too persistent. I even blackmailed them that I would run away and never see them again. Vine's voice broke and her eyes teared up. Vine, they saw that side of his, which I didn't. As soon as he married me, he put these papers in front of me. They had my signs. I was so lost in his love and trusted him blindly, I didn't remember when I signed them. Wine. My parents named their home after me. He got the ownership of it. He married me for that, for property. I tried to take the case to court, but it never turned out in my favor. He's abusive. He says he never had any feelings for me, and it was all his acting. Wine. Now I have to put up with everything he does. Otherwise, he would throw my old parents out of their own home because it's his now. Jungkook, your parents are aware? Wine shook her head and wiped her tears. Wine. No. They already went through a lot because of me. They don't need to know this. I can handle it. Jungkook picked up Wine's phone from the table and placed it in her hand. Jungkook, call the cops. Hand him over. Fight for the things you owned. Your property, your self-respect, your body. And I'll see who touch you again. One looked up at him, clearly taken aback. She was speechless at this point. She didn't have anyone to protect her. This feeling felt so foreign. One, sir, Jungkook. One, do you know what's the difference between his power and mine? He leaned down, wrapping her fingers around the device, keeping an eye contact. Jungkook, you will learn it after the call. He stepped back, turned around, and stepped forward to leave. Jungkook, I know you are tired of fighting and his abuse, but you must do it if you don't want the worst to go down. Jungkook left the home, but even so, as he stayed by the door, he was never allowing that man to ever step near her again. White knew what it meant. It was a warning. If she didn't do it, he would choose the brutal way. She didn't know why he was doing it. Nail stepped in the lounge and grabbed the vase throwing beside wine, which smashed it to pieces. Nail, look at what he did. I'm handicapped and you let him go? Nail, why was he here at this hour? He marched towards her to hurt her again, but Wine had already made a decision. She grabbed a broken piece of vase and held it forward. Wine, if you don't want to lose your other hand as well, stay where you are. The shock in his face was evident. Jungkook could hear everything smirked, satisfied of the woman who she actually was, but her spirit was taken away from her. Male. What did you say? Wait, he's the reason behind it. That's what you do behind my back. One slapped him, glared at him, then spat at him before he went away. Neil, your parents are sleeping outside tonight. He used his last car, which always worked, but it couldn't even waver Wine at all. He was clearly left shocked and angry. Vine went to her room, locked the door, called the cops, and reported abuse in her previous case wanting her property back. The cops and lawyer were helpful and did their work diligently as if it was not her case but their own. The case went to court. Usually, cases like these took years in court, even if you are winning. But it was solved in the very first court trial. Neil was put behind the bars. Wine got her property back. She went back home and fell on her knees before her parents and apologized. Her parents were in pain after finding out what their daughter was going through for the mistake she made out of her young age. They forgave her quickly. It had been 6 months. It took her time, but she started to heal from all the verbal and physical abuse. Everything started to fall back in place except for one person, the most important factor behind everything, the one who made it possible while staying in the shadows. Vine, thank you for making it possible. Thank you for letting me fight for myself. She said to Jungkook. She called him today requesting if he could meet her. He agreed. They were at a beach now. Jungkook's hair and shirt flew due to the strong pressure of wind, and so did hers. The sun was almost setting, casting glow on their skin. Vine, thank you for showing me. I could do much more than just bearing someone's abuse. Jungkook, are you healing well? She nodded with a gentle smile. That was the smile he didn't hate. It was not fake. It was not filled with real emotions and feelings. Jungkook, don't take it wrong. I'm not that nice of a person. I didn't do it for you. Fine, right. You said it back then too, that you're doing it for yourself. I wanted to ask, what did you mean by that? Jungkook, everything I did or will do for you will eventually be for me. Because I want you as mine. I want you to be my woman, my wife, the one I own and the one who owns me. People sucked. Their words of love and forever sucked even more. That's what Wine learned in her life. Neil was a monster, but he acted nice to earn her trust. But this man standing before her, he didn't act once. He was the evil himself. He didn't have anything to hide. He didn't have anything to act for. Sometimes, after Wine got her justice, she would cry to herself, remembering all the abuse she went through. Why? Why did she have to marry a man like him? Why couldn't he be someone like Jungkook who brought her power and justice? She wondered. Did the skies heard her cries and brought her him? The one she yearned for? The one who saved her life? Wine, even after you know I'm married. and what I went through. Jungkook, that's my decision. In my eyes, you're a warrior, and every warrior has their own story they should be respected for. Fine, then I will. The life I wasted, I want to live it again. Truly, truly live it. You showed me that. I had given up on it. Jungkook stepped closer to her and hooked the necklace around her neck. It was a beautiful snowflake pendant. Jungkook, live it. It's your life. No one gets to take it from you. You'll always find me beside you. He held her hand, intertwining their fingers, and Vine looked up at him. In those eyes, she saw her future. Love she once gave up on. She saw it in those eyes. She got in his embrace, closing her eyes, and Jungkook placed a kiss on her head. He was never allowing her to get hurt ever again.